welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of this Football Manager 17 career here at Alfreton Town. We're 21 games into the season here with Alfreton, and it's nearly Christmas, so Merry Christmas in 2017. So we're on the 23rd of December, and you'll have seen by the league table that things have picked up a little bit. We've managed to hit a fairly decent run of form, so I'm about to take you through the results since the last game, and then I'll have a little focus on a few of our players, and then we'll have a look at today's live com, which is a game against MacLeod. So if we jump into the schedule, you left us after we had just beaten Nuneaton 1-0 with that late Liam Hearn goal. That's a lot harder to say than I thought it was. A late Liam Hearn goal. And the game against Bradford Park Avenue was quite a similar game, to be honest. It was a game of few chances, and again it was a late winner that got it for us. It was Jordan Winter who managed to score the late goal for us that got us our second win in a row. And then we managed to make it 3 wins in a row. So we went and played Stalybridge at home, and we really did dominate this game. Then Stalybridge had Zach Thompson sent off just after half time. And at that point we really did try to expand the play a little bit. Just clicked onto the wrong game there. We did try to expand the game, try and stretch them a little bit more. We missed a penalty when they had a man sent off, which was frustrating. Graham Montgomery missed that penalty, but we were determined not to let that stop us, and we had a good spell of exerted pressure for this first goal. It was after 72 minutes, eventually scored by a captain on the night, Tom Allen, who was playing left back. Our captain, Terry Kennedy, has been injured, and Massey was left out of the side for this game, so it was a little scramble for the corner. Byrne had a shot save, Hal pulled it back, and Tom Allen fired it into the empty net, and that was 1-0 to us. We managed to then get a late goal on the break. Brendy Glackin went through as Stalybridge had pushed for an equaliser, and he made the game safe in stoppage time. So there it was, 3 wins in a row, and we were really in a positive run of form there. We then played Tamworth, and again we went ahead. Lewis Taft got us an early goal in this game, and we led until the 92nd minute when Callum Powell equalised. And I don't think they particularly deserved it. If I just jump into the game, we had more of the shots in this game, most of the possession, and I didn't think it was a particularly deserved equaliser for Tamworth, but it was still an unbeaten run. That was 5 games unbeaten, and we responded really well in the next game. A trip to Salford, who were in the playoffs and looking to push for promotion this season. And it's another clean sheet. We've started to find a bit of form in this 4-5-1. It's not exactly full of goals, but it's certainly tightened the defence up. And here you see Graham Montgomery. There was a slight defection on the shot, but our fans behind the goal went wild with that strike. And this time we did hold out for the victory. So it was an even better spell of form. We then played Fylde, who were top of the table at this point, and this was another game that was pretty similar, to be honest. It was an even game. There weren't many clear-cut chances to either side, but we managed to go ahead. Another set-piece goal for Graham Montgomery, but rather than taking penalties this time, he took a free kick and put it right in the top corner. It's a great strike from him. But unfortunately there was another cruel twist in this game, because Fylde managed to get a late equaliser, which was really frustrating, similar to the Tamworth game, although I think Fylde played better than Tamworth did against us. So it's still disappointing to lose the 3 points, but we were unbeaten. We were playing against some tough sides, and it was a really good run of form. We then went to Stockport in the FA Trophy third qualifying round, and we never showed up, to be honest. We lost 2-0, 2 goals in the first half, and we were just terrible in this game, to be honest. So the less said about that one, the better. We then played Halifax, and this one is another Harsh game for us. Jack Burns got his 3rd red card of the season. It was a straight red this time, two-footed tackle, which is really frustrating. So we're going to lose him for a good few games coming up now. But despite that, we managed to switch to a 4-4-1 and a defensive shape, and we managed to get ourselves in front. So Murray took a throw in here, Montgomery and Glackin got the ball into the box, and Taff fired a first-time strike, and that went in. And in this game, we held out to the 88th minute, and it was a penalty that cost us in this game. There was a handball, I think it was, and Sam Madeley put the penalty away, and it was a 1-1 draw. But overall in the league, it's a really good unbeaten run of form. So there's about 8 games unbeaten in the league. It's disappointing to drop out of the FA Trophy, but it's looking quite positive for us at the moment. What I'm going to do now, well, let's have a quick look at where that leaves us in the league table first. So that leaves us at 14th. We've got a game in hand on teams. We have had a game postponed, so we're going to do the Kettering game in this episode. That got postponed because of a waterlogged pitch, so we're jumping on ahead to play Macclesfield. So we've got a game in hand, but if we win that game in hand, we could potentially be 11th and get ourselves into the top half, which is good progress for us. Still a good way off the playoffs, so I'm not looking too far ahead, but as you can see, Kettering and Workington at the bottom are starting to get cut adrift, and we are a good 16 points clear of that, so starting to look upwards rather than downwards in this league table, and let's see how high we can finish. What I'll do now is just to introduce you to a few of the players. I'm going to focus on certain positions in certain episodes. So today I'm going to take you through the fullbacks. I took you through the goalkeepers in yesterday's episode. So if I take you through the fullbacks that we've got, I'm going to start with the right backs. Joe Doyle is the first one. He was a player who was already here when we came. He's not especially a brilliant player. He's got decent work rate and teamwork though, so he's a good player to have around the team. And there's not too many really shocking stats in there, so he's an okay player, only 2-star player, but a bit of room for development, only 22. And he's useful as well because he can play wing back. He has done that. He played a game in centre midfield as well when we were struggling with a few suspensions. But he's in at right back, although since we've gone to 4-4-2 he hasn't played as much. We've tended to go with our other option. If you have a look at his career, he's played a bit of football at Ilkeston in the regional leagues. Never really got a game. Well, never got a game for Burton, and he's played 28 games for Alfreton so far in his career, and got a goal for us this season. That was the goal in 27 seconds. I think I showed you it in an earlier episode. Managed to volley one in the first minute when we were playing a wing-back system. As I say, he hasn't played the recent games. That honour has gone to Sam Ling at right back, who's an 21-year-old who came in at the start of the season. He's on a non-contract deal, but he's a 3-star player. Good physicals, good jumping, and good strength. So he's a good player to have there. He's a less well-rounded player, so you can see he's got quite a lot of ones here on dribbling and finishing and free kick taking. So Doyle's probably the more rounded player, but there's some decent statistics in here for him to work with. Positioning and decisions are good, which is always good for a defender. And he's been doing okay for the last few games. Average rating of 6.85 so far this season. And he's doing okay in that right back position. So I had been training him to try and play wing back, and that's why Joe Doyle was getting the nod ahead of him. But since we switched to 4-4-2, I think Sam Ling's been doing okay at right back. If we jump on to left backs, there's a good few players in the squad who can play left back, who haven't necessarily played a huge amount there because they can play in other positions. So the player who's played there the most has been Tom Allen, and he was vice captain when we came, but he's dropped down to the 3rd in line for captaincy. But he has captained the side on quite a few occasions this season. He's played 18 games, scored 1 goal, which I just showed you. And he can play left back, centre back. He's done a little bit in other positions as well, but those are his main 2 positions. And there's quite a few attributes in double figures here, so he's a decent player for us. Again, only 23, so a little bit of room for growth. He's played a fair bit of football for Alfreton and previously played some for Gateshead in the National League and a little bit of football in League Two for York, which is where he started his career. So he's a good player to have around for us. In the last game, Ewan Murray played at left back, and he is on loan from Barrow. He's a signing that we brought in recently. Again, another good player. We'll be potentially having a look at him at the end of the season if he becomes available. Barrow are in the league above, and hopefully he might be interested in a move. He's been averaging 6.87 so far this season. So he's played a lot of football at centre half, but he has played a couple of games at left back. Alan Massey can also play left back. He's the guy who came in as vice captain at the start of the season. Again, some good stats in there. Bravery, teamwork, work rate, leadership. A decent stats for him in there. Good strength as well. He's a decent player to have around. Dropped out the side a little bit recently, but we've got a couple of injuries, so he'll be in and around the squad generally. And he's played all around Dundela National for Braintree, Maidenhead before he came here, and hasn't played any league football in his career, but he's a good player to have around as well. So that gives you a bit of an introduction to the fullbacks. I'm sure we'll mention a couple of those when we come to talk about centre backs, which will probably be in tomorrow's episode. But that's just a little attempt at getting you to know the players a little bit better. So I hope that was helpful. So I'm going to get into the game, select the team. I'll meet you back for the game. And today we're playing Macclesfield at home. As I say, it was going to be a Kettering away game. Kettering are 20th in the table, so it would have been nice to have played the game against them, but that got called off, so that'll be moved back to January. We now play Macclesfield, and because we've got knocked out of the FA Trophy, this is our first game for 3 weeks, so hopefully we're not too rusty when we get out to play the game. Macclesfield are likely to go with a 4-4-2 there in 8th place, and it's a home game, so hopefully we can manage to play well and hopefully get the win. A few things to note about the team. Ewan Murray's got injured. That happened in training, so he's going to be out for 2 weeks by the looks of it. So he won't be available. Massey is suspended. He's picked up some yellow cards, so he'll miss a game. Jack Byrne is suspended. He'll miss 3 games, I think. He's got a lot of red cards this year. Him and Jordan Winter have had a few disciplinary issues, so that's 7 yellows and 3 red cards for Jack Byrne. So he's going to be missing for a few games. So the team we've got today: Terry Kennedy's back from injury, the captain, so he'll come back in at centre half. Tom Allen's back in at left back. Howe and Ling will carry on in defence in front of the other Aaron Howe. Bradley Williams comes in centre midfield in place of Jack Byrne, and Winter moves forward alongside Montgomery, who's been playing really well. Was second in the Vanarama North Player of the Month standings. Lewis Taff will continue out wide right, and Ronaldo Brown and Brendy Glackin make up the rest of the attack. Both of those guys on loan from Oldham. Liam Hearn and Craig Westcar on the bench. Westcar's been out injured for a while. He's not really much fit. And Wilson is the young 18-year-old winger. Teague is a utility player with Leverington as our substitute goalkeeper. So that's the team we're going to go with. Hopefully we can keep our good run of form going. We are the favourites for this game, so that's hopefully a good omen for this game. And we're going to go and go for revenge. I think that always seems to get a good reaction. And we're going in positive frame of mind. We're in good form. Might not have played a lot of football for a while, but everyone's in good spirits, so let's hope that leads to a decent performance. As you can see, it's probably going to be a white Christmas this year. There's a little bit of snow on the pitch. This game on December the 23rd, remember. And we're off. So with 30 minutes in here, throw in their own half for Macclesfield, and a long ball forward. Looks like Adams is going to get in behind us here and pull the ball back, but Howe, the goalkeeper version of Howe, picks that up easily, and hopefully we'll start an attack for us with a long goal kick headed away by Kelly Evans. But Montgomery's on the ball, and he's been creating a lot this year. Went for an optimistic long range drive, which was straight at the goalkeeper. So Montgomery on the ball again in midfield, Glackin to hold the ball up front and then find Winter. Will he find a pass? He's gone for a shot, and again it's straight at Ashby Hammond in the Macclesfield goal. So free kick, Montgomery scored from this range before and he's hit the bar this time. Another close attempt. Hopefully they're not going to hit us on the break here. Norburn's made it all the way into the box, and a great tackle by the captain Kennedy. Had to get that one right. We have a corner now, Montgomery to put the ball in, headed away, but Taff gets it back in, Brown with a shot and cleared away. Lingle retreat, the keeper's come to take the ball. Might be the end of the highlight unless Hal plays a long ball, but he doesn't seem to be in any rush at the moment, and why would he be? And that is the end of the highlight. Approaching half time now. And this is half time. So 0-0. We've had most of the highlights in that first half. No real clear-cut chances for either side, so hopefully the second half will improve. This isn't unusual for us with this system. We're playing a patient passing style, and it's good. It means that we've got the ball and not many chances have been created against us. We're keeping plenty of clean sheets, but it does mean that we don't necessarily create too many chances. But let's get the second half underway. Free kick here after 50 minutes for Hancock's, put in the ball box, put about pinball and put over the bar. A little bit of chaos there, but in the end there was a long range shot put over the bar by Macclesfield. So we're going to make a change here. Grundy Glackin, I'm going to give him a rest and get Liam Hearn on. Hopefully he can make an impact up front. So there's 15 minutes to go here and not huge amounts happening in the second half, so I'm going to try and make a change to liven us up. We'll get Jay Wilson on for Ronaldo Brown. So we have a throw in here. Allen's found Williams and then on to Winter. Out wide to Taff, and can he create something out on that right hand side? A lot to do. He's gone for an optimistic shot from out long range, not too far away there. And we have another highlight here, free kick into Montgomery and Williams, back to Winter. A few triangle passes by our 3 centre midfielders. Ball finds its way to Williams and back to Montgomery, and then out wide to Allen, left back, and he's got into the box, a good tackle. Wilson to find Winter, shot charge down, but Taff has put the ball in, a great finish. He's drilled it across the keeper, and that's his 5th goal of the season, and we are 1-0 ahead with 8 minutes to go. The ball fell here to Wilson. Winter went for the shot, charged down, but then first time Lewis Taff drove the ball in. So with 3 minutes from time with this 1-0 win, potentially 1-0 win, don't speak too soon. Going to just go back to a slightly more defensive setup. So we're going to give get Montgomery back out wide, and we're going to give Lewis Taff a rest and bring on Andrew Teague in centre midfield. 2 ball winning midfielders in there, and we're going to go back to a defensive strategy. This is what I tend to do when I'm 1-0 up. I just want a team to keep the ball. Just keep the ball, retain possession, try and play as narrow as we can and waste time. And hopefully that means we're more careful with the ball, and if we got the ball, hopefully that means they can't score. So we're edging towards victory here into stoppage time, and it looks like we're going to take the 3 points. Hearn's going to hold the ball up, cleared, but how, and we'll get it back forward again. Surely that's time, referee, and it is. Another 1-0 victory. This unbeaten run in the league continues, and that's a really good result for us again. Really pleased with this improved run of form since we've gone back to the 4-3-3, 4-5-1, whatever you want to call it. We're up to 32 points from our 22 games and in 12th position in the league table. So we're knocking on that top half of the table, which is really nice. We'll try and get in there first before we start thinking about playoffs and anything like that. We just need to keep this run of form going. So a really good performance was there. It looks like Lewis Taft, the goal scorer, was man of the match. But another clean sheet, another win. That's really positive for us, and it has been on an upward curve recently, which is really good. So, as I say, that's the end of this episode. It's been a really positive stretch of games, and we now go into the Christmas and New Year period, hoping to keep that continuing and look to see if we can actually achieve anything this season. It's certainly a lot more positive than the first couple of episodes were at Alfreton this season. The aim for this season is to be mid-table, and I just want to keep on this run of form initially and see how far we can take it. It'd be nice to have a little dart for maybe the playoffs at the end of the season, but let's try and get through these couple of months first. We've only got the league to concentrate on, so maybe that will help us. And that'd be a really acceptable season if we can get a top half finish and really start planning for next year and who we're going to bring in for next season. In terms of the long term at Alfreton, it'd be really nice to get them into the conference in the next year or two, and get them up to the National League and try and establish them in there. They have been in that division in the past for four seasons. So yeah, it'd be nice to get this side back up into that National League. And then who knows after that? Could it be a Football League club? It'd be nice to think it could be. So after that first season at Dundela, I maybe jumped ship a little bit early there. But I really wanted to get into English football and get into the Vanarama North. So in the end, maybe I was too quick to leave Dundela, but I've got a decent medium-term job here. I'm definitely going to be here for planning for next season and the season beyond that. I don't think I'll be jumping ship that quickly. So that's the end of today's episode. We're going to come back probably towards the end of January, so looking at this, it'll probably be the Workington game. They're bottom of the table, so that would be a nice one to go and win, that one. So we'll come back for that Workington game. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time.